Greetings, this is Stasia Bliss, the Kundalini Queen, helping you manage your life force energy. So today I wanted to talk about the collective Kundalini. I'm actually in a parking lot right now, so with some of the collective, I've been sensing what's going on for people as I'm driving around today, which has invoked this video. So not only do we have an individual Kundalini awakening, but we also have a collective one. And that's actually the earth itself, herself, Gaia, going through a Kundalini awakening too. And the collective consciousness, the collective energy center, if you will, that feeds everyone and everything, is also cleansing out. It's like the overarching valve to humanity. So we can look at this in the same patterns that we look at our personal journey. We personally are going to cleanse through first and second chakra issues, usually first. We have been kind of stuck in these two issues in the collective for some time. So home and stability and abundance versus poverty, consciousness, safety, sexual connections or sexual safety, and just prior to a really creative expression. Now, some who have lived in the collective who've been very creative, like artists or musicians or actors and so forth, we look at them like they're celebrities or something. We call them that because they've reached into that third chakra and empowered themselves enough to create something. So that's why we often look at these people as a genius. But what's really true is, and I've said this for the last few years, but spirituality is the new famous. And by that I mean moving completely through all of your spinal centers, allowing Kundalini to penetrate all of your being is going to lend you a magnetism and a radiant energy that you'll walk around feeling like you are a celebrity because you are fully beaming life force energy. So on the way to that, collectively, we are spewing out the old patterns and cleansing them just like we do in our own beings, in our own consciousness. So this can look yucky, this can look upsetting, it can look tragic, and what's really true is all this stuff has been in the collective unconscious of the psyche of all that is for so long that now as it's coming to the surface and bubbling up and out, it's actually being released right now. So as many of us that can hold that awareness, that witness attitude, and not get overly attached to or caught up in that release. Now that doesn't mean if something's right in front of your face, this is my disclaimer, that you don't deal with it. Of course, if you are able to and it's presenting, then it's part of your karmic thread to do something about this thing. But when you're just hearing it and you feel like there's nothing you can do, what you can do is hold the conscious witness. You can be the third eye. And this is not bypassing the situation. This is a very strong action that you can do for the collective to allow that Kundalini to continue to purify and cleanse. Because just like in our own body, when we're cleansing out stuff from each chakra, if we don't have an awakened third eye, we often get attached to those things and we think they're happening again. And we're like, oh my gosh, I'm looping again. I'm going through the same pattern again and again and again. I can't seem to get out of it. But that's because you're not witnessing. As soon as you witness, you initiate. You go to the next level. You witness, you're detached. You can go, oh, that's happening again. Oh, I'm releasing it. Oh, it's on its way out. Got it. Awesome. Great. See you later. Next level. If you can't do that, then you don't go to the next level. You just unconsciously loop. So there are people right now, myself included, who are holding that witness for the collective. And as these things come up, I sometimes don't. Like sometimes I'm like, what is happening? And I need someone else to witness with me. But for a lot of things, I look and I see and I recognize the deep first chakra patterns around home, poverty, Like the more of this that we see, the more of this is being cleansed out, because we're trying to bring balance and unity. So we have to become aware of both poles. We have to become aware of the very wealthy, and we have to become aware of the very poor. And we have to see them in equal balance, necessary so that they can cancel each other out and we can experience a different reality where we perhaps have the blessings of both rather than the misnomers and the tragedies of each. Because we are flipping, we're flipping when we awaken. We go from one reality to the mirror opposite. And that's why it can be sometimes unsettling, because we're flipping realities. We're going through the mirror. But collectively, let's hold the ground if you can. And when you notice these things, the purging of the collective Kundalini, do our best to hold space for that and cheer it on and be like, okay, this is happening. This is good. Let's send life force energy up through the chakras of the all. Sometimes that means we have to emote deeply. Like witnessing doesn't mean you're unemotional. It may mean that you are more emotional than someone who's attached, because you are cleansing and purging it through your tears, through your wailing. One thing that's really, really helpful to assist in releasing the collective traumas, because they will have to come up and out before we have a different reality experience. So sometimes that feels like unfortunate, like we have to go back through all these traumas, but there is a technique that is meant to clear out this stuff, and it's very subtle, and it can be done while you are laying down, and that is Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra is a conscious sleep practice where you learn to navigate the subconscious and the unconscious mind into the creative, collective unconscious, and allow for things to be released while you're just laying there. And sometimes if it's really traumatic stuff, you'll just fall asleep. Now, when I was first practicing Yoga Nidra, I was in India at yoga school, and we practiced every day, and we had the Swami that was leading it and teaching us about how this works, because this is a tantric technique, because you're learning to alter your brain waves at will, listening. And then, so at first I was falling asleep every day, and I started to wonder what I was missing, what was being released. I really wanted to know. Even though it was said to us, if we're falling asleep, there's a reason why, and it might be too much for you to handle. But being the Sagittarius explorer that I am, I just could not know. I had to know what depths I was diving into in my unconscious state. So, even though we were in ashram and there's no coffee there, excuse me, my car likes to have panic attack alarms sometimes, and that's happening right now. I honestly don't know how to shut it off. So I found some instant coffee that someone had snuck in there, and I drank some right before Yoga Nidra class. And as we started to go into the practice where you're touching on right hand thumb, first finger, second finger, third finger, I literally felt my whole body paralyzed. And I suddenly started to have flashes of horrific things, as if I did them, as if they were done to me, flashing, so many things. Killing, being killed, cutting off arms, having arms cut off, like the most atrocious things you could think of. And when I finally came out, I bawled through that, and I couldn't even move. I just felt like I was just watching something with my eyes peeled open. That was like the biggest horror show of all of time. And I won't even say all the things that I saw. But I was a bit traumatized when I came out, and I went to my teacher and I told her. And she reminded me that I was clearing out collective unconscious, and not all that I saw was mine. Because I was like, oh my gosh, did I do all these things? Are these in my past lives? Like, are these things that I'm clearing from me? And she said, you are tuning into the collective. You are releasing them for the collective. Try not to get attached to what you saw. Don't talk about it. Just allow it up and out of your psyche. And in a few days, it will be gone. And you will have a different memory of the experience. And it's true, I was like, whoa, for a couple of days. And thankfully I had that guidance, because sure enough, in a few days, I felt completely different. The reason why I'm telling you this is number one, I have a Yoga Nidra course on udemy.com called Yoga Nidra Conscious Sleep Practice, to help guide you through 12 very awesome Yoga Nidra practices so you can experience this cleansing out and this clearing, not only for yourself, but to assist in the collective. So if you're looking around at reality and you're like, what up? Like, is this ever going to get any better? Yes, but it may have to get worse for a minute unless more of us are working on the subtle unconscious level, on the collective level. So Yoga Nidra is one of the most powerful practices that I know that affects change silently, quietly, and without the need to relive all the trauma, unless you are like me and you have to watch those things. I probably should have let myself be asleep, but then I wouldn't have a story to tell you, right? So that is all I have to say right now. Just humanity is in a collective awakening. The Kundalini is awakening. Once we get through the first and second chakra issues and we're fully cleansed out, just as the yogic texts say, you never fall back down into those. Once you reach third chakra stuff and you're above all those things, you have transcended the previous realities. You have evolved, you have gone dimensionally into a different place, and we will all do that collectively. Some of us have done that individually, but the collective we will see do this also. And it really helps if more and more of us get on board with this collective releasing, clearing, to assist the Kundalini of the whole. So that's all for today. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Get the bell because I'm doing videos every day. I don't want you to miss one. Share this video if it's helped you. And if you need any assistance or you have questions, please reach out to me either through YouTube, or you can get on Facebook and reach me, Stasia Bliss, the Kundalini Coach, on my public page. Send me a message and maybe you need to work with me. I'm available to work one-on-one. I have a few spots open right now. I also have loads and loads of books and online material, other videos you can watch. If you have any questions or you'd like to see a specific video addressing Kundalini, please let me know. Thank you so much. This is Stasia Bliss, the Kundalini Queen, helping you manage your life force.